Okay, let's get started. So this is the data that you guys are gonna see for in terms of the accuracy rate and the processing speed. So the accuracy rate is going to be in the first uh, thing, and then the processing speed is going to be in the second uh, page basically. So now let's take a look at the accuracy rate first. So you see that each row is the participants score on how they did in the first session and the second session respectively, and then you see that each session is every 16 participants participated, and then you see that every participant participated in both um, first session and the second session. So now let's first calculate out the mean for this. Okay, so we want to type in equals average parentheses and then look at this and you get 78%. And then now let's calculate out the standard deviation for the participants for this and then hit enter and then you get this number. And now if you remember, the standard error of the mean equals the standard deviation divided by the square root of the number of the participants, in this case 16, and then you enter and that's your standard deviation. Okay, and so now let's copy this, Control C, and then do this, Control V, and then what you have now is like the percentage for the mean and also the standard deviation and the standard error of the mean. I'm just gonna change this to the percentage here. Now let's take a look at the t-test. Okay, so the t-test is basically tells you, in this case, it's going to give you the p-value. So you type in equals t-test parentheses, the first array, you select this, that's the first array, comma, and then you say this is the second array, comma, and tails, we want this to be a two-tail test, and comma, and now we want to select one because this is a paired, because every single subject went through both the first session and the second session. Okay, and now so this is the p-value that we obtained. So 0.0013 blah blah blah. So this is a very highly significant result because the p-value is less than 0.05. Okay, so we are going to put this in red just to show that this is significant. Okay, and now let's take a look at the processing speed. Okay, you do exactly the same thing with the processing speed. I'm just gonna speed through this, and then you do this for the standard deviation, and you do this for the standard error of the mean, standard error of the mean, square root of 16, okay, and then you just copy and paste. Then you do the same thing for the t-test, the first array, the second array, two tails, paired, and then now this gave us like a very small p-value. So since that it's too small, it was giving us the problem with the number of the decimals. So we just wanted to take a look at. So this is 0.00023315. Okay, so this is also a very highly significant result. All right, now, so what does this mean? Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at the accuracy rate first. So the accuracy rate kind of says that the first time that people did the mental rotation task, their accuracy rate on average it was only 78%, but the second session what they did, there you see that there's a dramatic improvement, about 11%, right? So it went from 78 to 89, right? And then this is a significant increase in terms of accuracy rate. Okay, so that's for the accuracy rate. Now let's take a look at the processing speed. The processing speed, what we are seeing is that it went from 1316.81 down to 2750.6. 0.63. So what does this mean? This means that the participants from the first time they did the task versus the second time you guys did the task, there is a significant reduction in terms of speed. That means that you guys were not only doing better, but you guys were doing the task faster the second time around. Okay, and this is a highly significant when you look at the when you look at the p-value that is obtained by the t-test. All right, now let's take a look at how do we make a graph out of this. All right, so we are going to highlight this first session and the second session. All right, and then we're going to highlight the mean, and then we're going to go to insert, we're going to go to this, okay, chart title, right? Now let's fill in the chart title first. So what you want is the dependent the dependent variable as a function. So accuracy rate as a function of session order, right? Okay. So now let's get rid of this and let's change this format access to 0 and then 0.9. That looks good. Okay, and we're not finished yet. What are we missing? We are missing several things. So the first thing we need to insert is the axis title. Okay, so now let's do the x-axis first. So the one that you're going to need is to put in this. That is the session order, right? And then the one, and now let's put in the y-axis title, and this is going to be, well, these are all the percentage, right? So this is the accuracy rate. Accuracy rate, and you want to put it in parentheses and say that this is a percentage, okay? And there is a line here that is missing. Wait, I think it's over here. Solid line. Put this in there, and then we are in good business. Oh, sorry, not this. Fill solid line here. Yep, that's good. Let me change this back to not the fill, but no fill and solid line. Okay, so we're good. We're good. So that looks good. But we're not done yet. We are missing the, what we are currently missing right now is the error bars, right? So you want to put in the error bar. You want to put plus the error bars, and you want to click here and say more options and scroll down to custom and say I want to specify the value. Okay, and it's going to ask you for the positive value, and then this is why we calculated out the standard error of the mean. Okay, so you do this once for the standard error of the mean for the top, and then the one for the standard error mean of the bottom. Okay, now we are pretty much done, and I'm just gonna do some cosmetic things to make it look a little prettier. And I'm just gonna put this as a say green, which is color that I like. Okay, so we are good, and then you just do pretty much exactly the same thing for the processing speed. And there's so if you want to do this like all over again, you can. Now, if you want to do this for like a quicker way, you can do this by doing this. Okay, and so what you want to change right away is because we're looking at processing speed right now, right? So I'm going to say processing speed as a function of session number, and you want to change this to processing speed, and then we want to change this to second processing speed per session, right? And then so the next thing you want to change is the actual number, because these are still the number that is for the accuracy rate. So the way you want to change this, you want to go to this and go to select area, and then go to this part that says edit, And then the series name we don't have to change because it's the same, but the series values is what we need to change. So you need to go back to your this, okay, and make sure that this is the one, these are the number that's highlighted, all right, and then we should be good. All right, and I'm just gonna change this to the format error bars, and I'm gonna change the number to make sure that there's no decimal points. Oh, wait, what happened? Okay. And now the only thing that we need to change is the error bar. So let's go back to the error bars again. More options, and go down to custom, specify value, and you want to go back here to the processing speed one. Okay, so this one you pick this, and this one you pick this again, and click OK. Ooh. Wait, hold on a second. I think something wrong happened. I'm just gonna delete it, and then I'm gonna do this again. All right, so go to error bars, more options, scroll down to custom, specify value, this number, and then the negative value number. Click OK, and voila. Okay, we're done basically. All right, and if you want, you can make the font this a little bit bigger. Let's say maybe 14. 14 looks slightly nicer for your lab report. But if you don't make that change, you won't get any points off. Like I don't really care about that. I really only care about the scientific content. And this should be centered like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then now let's do the same thing for your number, your first one, which is the accuracy rate, and then the session number, like that. That's basically it. That's how you would want to make your PowerPoint. Sorry, your figure 1 and number 2. So your figure 1 is going to be the accuracy rate, and your figure 2 is going to be the processing speed. Okay, this is the tutorial. I kind of basically tell you how to do it. Now, another thing I kind of wanted to make sure is this, and that is how do we calculate out the t value? Okay, so the t value, what you can do is you can go to one of the statistical packages online that's available. So then you can go to, for this one that I went to is graphpath.com. And then, so that what we can do is we can look at group 1 versus group 2 and so forth. Okay, so let's see. We want to choose the format, so up to 50 rows, and so the test we want is a pair t-test because that's one we used. And so let's take a look at the one for the accuracy rate first. So I'm going to copy this, and let's go over to the graph pad, and then let me see if I can. Oh, this is going to take a long time. Okay, let me see if I can just copy and paste this. No, it doesn't like it. All right, so I'm gonna have to enter this manually. All right, so you guys can do this and tell me what is the T that you guys obtained, okay? So try to do this and report back to me what the T is, and then I'll let you know whether or not if it's correct. All right, and so that's it, folks. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, or in the next class, at the beginning of the next class, you can, during our Zoom meeting, you can ask me how to do this. All right, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Keep yourself safe.